Okay, good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm trying to adjust the light. Okay, can you see me, please? Can you hear me? Let me see your messages, please. Let me see your comments if you can see me. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, kings and queens. Who is online? Can you see me? Can you hear me too? Good evening, everyone. Okay, thank you very much, Queen. Welcome, Queen Adeyemi. Happy Sunday, ma. Okay, thank you, King. God bless you. So, without taking much of our time this evening, we'll be talking on how to manage stress. How to manage stress, and I would want this session to be an interactive session because one way or the other we all go through stress. Depend not notwithstanding what we do, notwithstanding your kind of job, we all go through stress. So this will definitely go a long way when we hear your own views, when we hear what you think about stress, because we all react to stress differently. Yes, we react to stress differently, and then stress comes in differently for individuals. So this evening, welcome everyone. Welcome, Queen Mary. Welcome, Queen Mary Atinuke. Thank you for joining me tonight. Um, Now we'll be talking about how to manage stress, the ways to manage stress. But first, we would have to be talking about what stress is. Yes, we'll have to talk about what stress is. We have to differentiate between stress and being tired and fatigue. So, kindly follow me as we go on this um what's it called? This quick session. So, definition of stress. Stress is a state of mental or emotional strain or tension. It's a state where you're mentally or emotionally strained or you're tensioned resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances. I don't know if you understand that. It is a state where your mental and physical, your mental and emotional ability is strained. I don't know if you understand what we mean by strained. Like sometimes you force your head to do something, like you're stressing your brain, like that's like a definition of you straining something. So stress is a mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances. So, stress is a feeling of emotional tension. It can come from any event or thought that makes you feel frustrated, angry, or nervous. Stress is your body's reaction to a challenge or demand. Thank you very, very much, King Obaseki. Thank you so much for that input. So now we'll be talking. That is what stress is. So we'll be talking about the differences between stress and being tired, and what has been stress got to do with fatigue. We'll first talk about that one. So tiredness is a state of mind or body. When you're tired, is a state of your mind or body feeling the need for rest. You feel you want to rest. When you're tired, you have to rest. At a particular point, maybe you go back from work and then you feel tired, you shower and rest. You regain your strength back. But it doesn't go that way with stress. Thank you, King Akinsola. Welcome. Good evening. It does not go that way with stress. Stress when tiredness are a state of the mind and body being feeling the need for rest. Stress is giving you another definition. Stress is the non-specific reaction of the mind. It's a non-specific reaction of the mind and body to any to any demand, just like King Obaseki said. He said, Obaseki said that you don't have like anything, like meaning anything can be stressful to you. We don't have to do the same job to be stressed out. We don't have to work same companies to be stressed out. We don't have to do same business to be stressed out. So stress will tell on you depending on what you do, and it can be anything. I don't know if you get it. So it's a non-specific reactions that tells on us. Stress tells on us so well more than tiredness, and that is where fatigue comes in. Fatigue is closely like close to stress, but it is not stress. Fatigue tells more on us than tiredness, but it is not up to stress. So now let's go to the impact of tiredness on our body. We'll go to how to know you are stressed out. Sorry. So how do you know you're stressed out? Like I said earlier on when we started, we accumulate things differently. So we get stressed out differently. What might get me stressed out is different from what might get you stressed out. And how we assimilate those things, differs because we are different people. Say for instance, a bricklayer that goes to the site every day and comes back looking healthy, although tired. But when he has a little rest, he will be fine. A normal person who is not a bricklayer, maybe like myself, that is a business person, if I go to that kind of work that he goes to every morning, I will break out. Yes, I will break out. Same thing goes to the other gender. The kind of things we go through as mothers in the house, if a man go through them, they will definitely break down. So that is why we say stress comes in different ways, and we accumulate the stress to the body differently. And so we're going to be talking about how to know you are stressed out. Some of the psychological and emotional signs are depression or anxiety. This is the most important of the listed things I have here. This is the most important of it. Depression or anxiety. Let me tell you a story, kings and queens. Early this year, when the stress and everything was telling on me with my kids, my twins, sometimes I don't know, I've related this issue to some people here. Sometimes I just go to the bedroom, I break down, I cry, I don't know, I cry, it looks like I feel depressed. That depression, I told my husband one day, I said, I think I am beginning to understand what depression really means. Depression doesn't have to really mean, okay, you don't have money or you have troubles or you have debt to pay or things like that. That is not only when depressions can set in. Stress can also make you go depressed. I used to go depressed. One day I was in the kitchen, I sat down, looked at the sitting room, looked at everywhere, and I busted into cry. There was nothing I could do. And at that moment, if I allow that anxiety, that depression to get hold of me, if I use the way I am feeling to handle my kids at that moment, it will also affect them. I would have handled them in a way I was not supposed to handle them. So depression and anxiety is one of it. So the second one is anger, irritability, and restlessness. So when we talk about anger, that is right. Most of us, it happens to us when you're stressed out. Nobody should just disturb you. In fact, you don't want to hear anything. You don't want to hear what somebody else is saying. You understand? You just go angry for no reason. You will just notice that you were angry for just no cause. In fact, if someone asks you why is your mood like that, you just said, I don't even know me myself, but I'll be fine. You will just stress is telling on you that way, but maybe you've not understood what stress is. So stress tells on us differently, and these are one of the signs. You're irritated. Your colleague or your spouse can just do something in the house, and then you flare up. You think, or maybe you're just overreacting. Sometimes after doing those things, you go back and you feel you've overreacted. You yourself, you don't really know why you overreacted. You yourself, you feel like, but that thing that happened has not is not supposed to have led to something like this that I said to this person. So you you now you now think, okay, fine, I need to make amends. That is stress telling on you. Yes, emotionally drained. Exactly, mama. Emotionally drained. You're emotionally drained. So that is stress telling on you. Then number three, feeling unmotivated or unfocused. Feeling unmotivated. Yeah, sadness too. That is why I said the restlessness, the anxiety. You understand? You're just not happy for no reason. It's a stress. So feeling unmotivated or unfocused. This one normally happens to me when I am stressed out. I don't want to know. My husband keeps saying something. I'm sorry. I'm using references to myself because I go through stress a lot. So my husband would say that, if for those that understand the Yoruba, he would say that, pẹ̀lẹ́, ìwọ náà ló máa jèrè àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀. There's no help and things like that. Ìwọ náà ló máa jèrè. There are times that I will even say amen. I will say amen to those prayers. There are times that that prayer itself I will just like, man, just collect this duty and do it. Those prayers are not even entering my ears at some time. So I feel unmotivated. I don't know. There's nothing you want to tell me. People will say, I know when the kids grow up, they'll start you'll start having rest. I've not started having rest. So it's just like they're trying to motivate you, and so it's so that is it. You feel unmotivated. You feel unfocused. When I come online to make my business post, I will end up scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I will not make a post, and I will go again because nothing moves me. I was not motivated. So stress telling on you.
So that is part of what I am saying. So now we've talked about three how to know we are stressed out, and now those 3 points is what I wrote down. We'll be moving from that to what do we call this? Like I said, fatigue is a very close thing to stress. Yes, fatigue is a bit related to stress, impact of tiredness on your body, like I said earlier. So when fatigue tells on you, it is not so serious like stress. So this is where we're going now. I'll be bringing out some points. Okay, according to Daria Long, who is an ER doctor, she said we have to handle stress just the way it is done in the ER. I'll take that again. She said she's an ER doctor. She said we have to handle stress the way it is done in the ER. And then she went further to explain to us that handling stress the way they do it in their ER, this is it. Our brains process stress whichever way they come, but how we react to it should be based on whether it is an emergency or normal day in or day out stress. Now I'll break that down for us. Okay, our brains, these brains that we all have, when stress come, it assimilates stress the same way. We this stress keep coming to us same way. Just the way you get tired is the way I get tired. Everybody gets tired, no matter how strong you are. Everybody gets tired. If you don't look after yourself, that is when you're gonna break down. So when stress is calm and your brain has assimilated it, it has entered you already. Rather, let me say that it has entered you already. Now the ability to differentiate whether it is an emergency or a daily day in or day out stress, that is where we're going to. That is where our topic is going to, how to manage stress. We have things that are what's it called, emergencies. We have issues that are emergencies that we can say, okay, let's tackle this first before we come to the other ones. You understand? So when you can be able to, okay, assimilate the emergencies, you can know what to do. Take for instance, you have a food on fire, which is already burning. Your food is burning already on the fire, and then you had to sweep the floor, the sitting room. Which would you do first? You would definitely want to save the food on fire. You would definitely want to save the food on fire. You would not want to go through the stress of bending down to sweep how many square sitting room before you later go back to the kitchen to go and save that food on fire. That is how stressful life can be. So your ability to understand that, okay, you need to save that food on the fire, that one is an emergency. It will save you the stress of your brain thinking, oh, I have a food on the fire, I want to do this, I want to sweep, I want to do this. It will save your brain again. Do you understand, kings and queen? So thank you for joining me. Everyone needs, okay, exactly, brain eating up with stress becoming empty. Exactly, like I wrote down here, I said when we want to do everything together, we end up doing nothing at all. I wrote it down here. If you decide to do everything at once, you will just find out that you did not even do anything at all. So how to go from busy mode to ready mode? Please kindly follow me on this particular place. It is quite explanatory, but we need to still hammer on it a little bit because it is a little bit complex. um Relentlessly, this is how to go from busy mode to ready mode. Also, number one is relentlessly triage. Relentlessly triage. What we mean by triaging is we prioritize by degree of urgency. We prioritize by degree of urgency, meaning what you want to do first. What is more important is what you should do first. Do not choke your brains up. You prioritize it, just like I said earlier. You what when you want to go for an interview by 7 a.m., right? You want to go for an interview by 7 a.m. and you have a program to attend maybe by 2 p.m. in the afternoon. This you same person, now you don't know when you're going to leave the place for the interview, and you don't know if you can meet up with the, what is it called, the program you have in the afternoon, let's say by 2 p.m. And then you start to think of your interview and you start to think of the program same time. I don't know how you want to do well with the interview you're going, because you're stressing your brain already. Now um this interview to get you a job is a priority. You have to prioritize it. It is very, very important. It is very important. If you're going to meet up a friend in the afternoon, or you can reschedule, you don't have to take that up into your brains. It is going to definitely affect that interview that you're going to. So you prioritize what is important and tackle it first. That alone can reduce the tension on your brains. That alone can reduce the stress your brain goes through. So number two, yeah, she said that study shows that those who cannot differentiate threat from non-threat has increased their stress hormones because they attend to it the same way. Exactly. So this is what she said. They said, okay, somebody that cannot differentiate, okay, this is threat, and this is non-threat. If you cannot differentiate it, that okay, this is an emergency, this is dangerous, and this is not, you will have your brains stressed up. You have your brain stressed, your stress hormones, you will have it flared up with you want to just do everything the same time. You want to handle threat and not threat the same time, and it is going to tell on you. It is going to tell on you. So now she gave us an example as an ER worker. So she told us, she said, and I'll explain this to you. She said red in an ER. Red is life threatening. So red is life threatening. Yellow, it is serious but not life threatening. While green, it is minor. So the problem with us is that we react to everything as if it is red. We react to everything as if it is life threatening. We react to everything as if if we do not take that thing down now, it is going to conquer us. We stress our brains. We stress our brains to do many things at the same time. Why she used red, yellow, and green is because she is a doctor and she explained that, and that's why I'm using red, yellow, and green. So we're faced with circumstances, we're faced with situations, we have to weigh those situations. Okay, is this important? Which one is important now? Even in our financial status, even in our financial plannings, you want to buy food in your house. You want to buy food in your house, and you want to or you want to hang out with friends. Okay, you want to hang out with friends because so your friends will not say maybe you're stingy, or you don't want to, or you just want to go show off, and then your families are hungry. What do you do first? So even in our planning in life, everything we want to do, we have to prioritize. We have to understand that we need to tackle the ones that are red first. We need to tackle the ones that are life threatening, because yellow, it is serious actually, but it is not life threatening. Then green is minor. So we take everything as if it is red. So it tells on us. Okay. Queen Mama Sakirat, thank you for joining me, ma. Okay, we're in a world where everything seems to be going on fast. Slow down and don't take too much on your schedule. Thank you, Queen, for sharing. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you for joining me. Welcome, ma. So that is what it is. Issue is we attend to everything as if it is red. And so this is number 2 of, we are on what is it called, how to go from busy mode to ready mode. So we have talked about relentlessly triage. So number 2, we expect and design. We expect and design. Like, I have people around who says, okay, during weekends they make the soup they need during the week. Yes, they make the stew, and then when it is during the week, that aspect of making soups and everything is out of the way. Do you understand? So this is about it. You you expect and you design. We design to make those tasks easier to do. Now these are 4 steps that you can attach to your designs. Number 1, you have to plan ahead of the week. When you're making your schedule during the week, just for instance, Saturdays, you want to wash your kids uniform, you want to make their hair. Okay, fine. Which should you do first? Okay, do you take them to the salon to make their hair? Quite all right. If you don't go to the salon on Saturday, you might not be able to make the hair on Sunday, because many people would have want to make their hair on Sunday. Okay, so you make their hair on Saturday. You can definitely wash your uniform on Sunday and put it out to dry, or spin them. So okay, fine. In my own case, I would take them for making their hair on Saturday. Then on Sunday, I face something else. So if you have to plan, that is number 1. You have to automate, that is number 2. Then number 3, you have to collocate. This collocate means you have to keep everything you want to use in one place after you've made your plans. Take for instance, in your kitchen. Okay, you don't keep your salt in the bedroom. You don't keep your salt in your bedroom. You have to keep them one place. When you're cooking your soup, you don't have to start looking for, you don't know the stress of looking for things you can't find alone. That one is out of this world. Okay, you felt you kept it here, you got there, you can't see it, you were like, your brains will, that stress will tell on you. You will overreact. It will definitely tell on you. So now you collocate. Okay, I want to make this soup, I want to make stew. Okay, fine, this is what I'm going to be needing. Then you You gather whatever you need and put them together. You want to go for exercise, you play golf, you do this, you get your bag, you get your racket, you do. So that is what they mean by co-locate, so that you don't have to be looking for things when you already need them. When the need arises, you don't have to be looking for them. Then number 4, decrease temptation. Decrease temptations. Okay, now let's use use um let's use what should we use? Something you are addicted to. Let's use something you are addicted to. You know, when you are addicted to something and you do not get that thing. Let's say, for instance, chocolate. You're addicted to it, and at the point that you needed it, you did not get it. You would be so restless. The depression will tell on you. You'll be so restless. The temptations to get that thing at that moment, it will definitely tell on you. So it is best to decrease temptations even before they come. If you try to do everything, we might end up not saving the reds. And that is the truth. You try to do this and do that, you try to take the yellow with you, try to handle the minor, which is green, you might end up losing the red that is already an emergency situation, that is already a life-threatening situation. So now, number 3 of how to go from busy mode to ready mode. Number 3 is get out of your head. Like I said before we started this episode, we handle stress differently. By myself personally, I would want to stroll out. I would want to just go out to somewhere very peaceful, somewhere quiet, just to see nature and things like that. That relieves me of stress. Some people, now getting out of your head, this is where we talk about our fears. Yes, our fears. We talk about our fears, and what you do next is what matters. Your fears will definitely come. Your disappointments will definitely come. We will not all get it rosy at all times. That is the truth. The earlier we realize that, the better for us. Life will always come. Life will always happen, rather. So it's not going to be rosy at all times. When your fears come, when your disappointment, when things you look up to and they're not working out, and you're angry, when you're scared. Some people let that tells on them. That is quite all right. Some people let that tells on them, and some they would just maybe, let's say, men actually. Some of them will go out, hang out with friends. Yes. Some of them go out, hang out with friends. Some people, like I do this too a lot. I try to think of something else. I try to channel my energy to something else. Sometimes when I don't make sales, I come online on Facebook, I put up comedies. I put up comedies, and I use that myself and say, okay, lots of people too would might be broken. I will put up comedies. That's why you look it as if I'm a very funny person. I like putting, when I see comedy posts, I save them on my phone. Sometimes I might not make sales. I will come. I have data. I will go to different page that there are comedians, and I will watch comedies and relieve myself of stress. So your
Good
internal
evening.
monologue can
Good
derail you if
evening.
you do
Good
not
evening.
relieve yourself of stress.
Thank you,
Your
Queen
internal monologue.
Kamisola. Can you hear me, please?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you for a very powerful and insightful topic tonight. There is a question on that. I pop a comment. Can you see
I
that?
can hear you clearly, ma'am.
There is a comment on the screen. The lady said, but sometimes, even when not working, just sitting at home and waking up,
Yes,
someone can still be stressed. So can you explain
exactly.
further? And if anybody is watching us, please can you, if you have any input on this question, can you explain, please? Thank you. Then in the next 3 minutes, you can wind up. Thank you so much. God bless.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So exactly. Sometimes when we do not even go out, we can actually be stressed, and it is true. Myself, I use myself as an example. I haven't started going out since I had my kids, but it has been very stressful. It has been very stressful. If you don't have kids in this instance and you find yourself going through stress, I think you need to check what is those things that you want to get done immediately, and then they are not getting done. You're not getting them done. You have to differentiate what is, like I said earlier, you have to differentiate what is a threat and what is not a threat. If you're going through stress and you're not working, you're at home, you're doing only your house chores. Actually, house chores can get us stressed out very, very well. It can get us stressed out. So apart from your house chores, and then you find out that you're going through stress, I think you need to watch what you think. You might be going through some difficulties. Everyone goes through one thing or the other. Stressed out. Have I answered your okay? Stress acquired from inability to meet up with many responsibilities has sometimes dragged me into depression. Exactly. You cannot meet up with everything at the same time. Like I said, if you want to do everything same time, you end up not doing anything at all. I do not blame people that says, okay, they love to hang out. People that say they love to hang out, that is another therapy for people that cannot handle their thinking, they cannot handle thoughts. It's a very, very good therapy. If you need to hang out, sometimes hang out. If you need to go out, go out. Like I said, I go out. Sometimes I just tell my husband I want to let's just stroll and leave the kids, and that's if I have someone to keep them with. Let's just stroll out. Then I reset my brain. Sometimes when I come back home, they would have slept. That is another way you can reset your brain. You can rest. Then tomorrow we start again. Yes, those things you kept today, you will definitely meet them tomorrow. You start again, but how you handle them really, really matters. Please, can I see your questions? If you have questions, can I see them, please? Yes, or you can be like yesterday. I was at home all stressed up. Yes, exactly. You can be home and you're stressed out. So you don't come back home from work telling people that you met in the house and be saying, what did you do that you're saying you're tired? You know how many things our brain assimilates a day? Let's say an hour, or let's say a minute. We assimilate so much. So you don't just go out, come back. We must not fetch 10 drums of water before stress tells on us. No, we must not sweep the whole compound before stress tells on us. Stress tells on us. Let me tell you something. If you it's not all these people you see with wrinkled faces that are old people. Some of them are stressed out. And the most important thing is the stress comes to sit in. It sits in, not like a fatigue. Like I said earlier, it's not tiredness. When you are tired, you rest and you get refreshing and then you move again. No, stress will sit in. It will be after many years that you will see that, okay, that stress that you've gone through already, it's already telling on you. It's already affecting your health. It's affecting your health. Just like when we're in school and okay, we want to be the best in our class, we read and read and read and read and read. I don't know, this would have happened to many people. We read after reading and reading and reading, and then you come into the exam hall, you see a question, okay, I read this thing, oh, but you forgotten the answer. That is why I said if you want to do everything at the same time, you will end up not doing anything. So after the exam, you come out of the hall and you'll be biting your finger, saying, and I know this thing, no, I know. That is what it does. If you're stressed out, you are stressed out. Find a way to relieve your stress. Nobody is strong, oh. Nobody is a robot. That is the truth. Nobody is a robot. If you're stressed out, you are stressed out. If you're tired, find a way to rest. If you're stressed out, find a way to relieve yourself of stress. That is two different things. If you're tired, rest. If you're stressed out, find a way to relieve your stress. Being tired is very, very different from being stressed out. And if you're experiencing fatigue, you're experiencing fatigue, find a way to balance it. Find that thing that is giving you problems, that thing that is giving you issues. Clear them off your head. If you want to meet people, and then be fine. Because tomorrow we'll face the next day's challenge. That is the truth. Let me see. Lot of time be confined in a restricted way can stress the brain. Most time, leave the four walls, live physically or online. There are various forms of sightseeing. Exactly. Some people, that is the only way they can get off stress. That is the only way they can get off stress. Then some people, if that issue is not resolved, they cannot get off stress. So we don't blame them. We assimilate stress differently, and then we put out our reactions differently. We won't blame people. So some people, when they are worried, if there's no solution yet, even if it takes 10 years, even if it takes 5 years, you will still find them in that particular situation. In fact, play the loudest songs on the planet Earth, it will not move them. They will not be motivated. They will be unmotivated, like I said earlier. So that is what stress does. And the fact that you can handle stress differently, the fact that you can stroll out and then you'll be fine, doesn't mean you should condemn someone who that thing doesn't work for. It does not mean you should condemn someone who that thing doesn't work for. What we'll do is we'll need each other. You encourage, you tell them what stress do for in the body. Tell them the dangers of being stressed out and not trying to relieve stress. So that is what stress do, and that is thing at a time. Make sure you take in the reds first, then you can handle other things. If not, we take on the yellow and the green, and then we end up losing the life-threatening issues. Can taking up alcohol lessen stress? Okay, King Henry, thank you. Good evening. Thank you for joining me. Okay, let me answer that question. Taking up alcohol, well, I do not take alcohol, but I have seen people who takes alcohol. You understand? People who takes alcohol would definitely tell you, if they are being real, if they are being real with themselves, they would definitely say it out. They say something like, okay, at that moment when you take that alcohol, that you forget all your worries. That is what they say. They will say they'll forget all your worries, your whatever that is bothering you, you forget. But when you sleep and wake up, that same worry, that thing you are supposed to solve while your head was going up, that thing you are definitely still going to meet it there the following day. So these are what even people who takes alcohol says. Well, but for the meantime, I think it release the brains. It's release you of stress for the meantime, according to how it is said. It relieves you of stress. But we should be guided. If you're taking alcohol, please don't get drunk, because you can be stressed out, you get drunk, and then it can be something else. How do we manage transfer of aggression? Okay. How do we manage transfer of aggression when we are stressed out? Okay. Thank you. Who is this? Okay. The name has disappeared. How do we manage transfer of aggression? Like I said the other time, I said when stress tell on me, I burst out, I cry. You're allowed to cry. If you want to cry, I burst out, I cry. Sometimes I lock up my kids, I stay in the bedroom and cry. I do not pass aggressions. I do not pass aggressions to my kids. I try as much as possible to calm down. You have to calm down even when you're stressed out. You have to know that these kids or your family are not the reason why your mood is like that. Once you're able to differentiate that you're fighting against stress, not families, not friends, you'll be able to calm down. So this is part of what we call self-control. That is where your self-control comes in. Stress will definitely tell on you, but I'm sure you will not let stress to overcome you. I learned a lesson from my bosses when I'm outside Nigeria. My boss relieved herself by going out with her man, lodging in a hotel for a night. They leave the kids behind. Exactly. This is what I do too. When I'm stressed out, I go out. I don't want to. I might not go anywhere specific. I might not go anywhere important, but I will leave that house for at that moment. I will not want to shout. I will not want to just say, you sit down there, you do this. No, I would just want to leave that house at that moment. It relieves stress. You too can try it. You can try it sometimes. You can stroll out. It relieves stress. It works for me. It works for me. Okay, thank you, Queen. Oluwaseyi Funmi. Oh, Elujoba, thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. God bless you. So, do we have more questions, please? If we have more questions, can we see your questions? And I hope with this what's it called, with this little class, with this little lecture, the session we just had, you can be able to differentiate threat and non-threat, what is important to do and the ones that are not important to do. King Fidelis Obaseki, kindly check in your inbox, and King Rotimi, please check in your inbox, your backstage. There's a link for you to come into the studio. Please, can you hear me? If you're there, kindly let me know you're there, please. Thank you to King Ore. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, everyone. Okay, good night. Good night. See you all tomorrow. And tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is another week. Just make sure if you didn't get it right last week, you will get it right this week. Only if you